Thursday night on Fox, and it's been a blitz early. Brisbane Lions have come out running. Thursday night on Fox, and it's been a blitz early. Brisbane Lions, first of his 2 goals and a big celebration. David King has set it up beautifully before the match that he was going to be a man to watch tonight.
Yeah, he's the one. If you just give him a metre or two and you're not defensively diligent, you've got to play him like a half-back flanker and have full contain on this guy, because his first move when the ball goes into the next contest is to track forward. Right here, he knows that ball's going to contest. He can't influence it, so he gets goal side of the pack and goal side of his man. That's why with only 9 disposals, 4 of those can become scores. Right here, Humphrey was side by side with Bailey and then just plays his own game. Drops off him, and look at this. Goes to contest, Bailey sneaks forward, it's only 2 metres, but such is the quality of this guy. He kicks 2 goals in a quarter and sets Brisbane on their way.
Big start, Vossi. Hard to believe what we've seen.
I thought it started around contest. I mean, numbers say it's quite even there, but Brisbane's want to be able to hunt from the inside and then take it to the outside has been particularly impressive. How they've actually structured up as well has been a little bit different. Normally we sort of see Brisbane play with some length on the field. They keep their forwards with a little bit more depth, whereas they've played really high and created the space out the back. So when they win those critical contests, as you've seen them, you see Bailey and these players breaking into that space and obviously being able to convert inside 50.
Brad Johnson at ground level, how did you see it?
Well, Chris got charged out at quarter time, straight to the whole group, had about a minute and a half with the whole group talking about obviously what he was seeing upstairs and that motivation to fight their way back into it in the second term. But it's the back 6 that he'll be trying to break through from the Brisbane Lions. They've been strong the last 3 weeks. They started the game extremely well. Yes, the mids and forwards are helping them set up, get the matchups that they want. Leicester's been strong in the air and on the ground. Harris Andrews hasn't lost a one-on-one yet. Gallup's been strong, and Wilmot's providing some run off the half-back with Reville. So they've got every piece of their puzzle in the right place at the moment. This back 6 has been strong once again.
Charlie Cameron with the first 2 goals of the match. Multiple goals as well to Logan Morris and Zach Bailey. A dominant display. What will we see in the second quarter? Edwards wins it down. Smith grabbed. Neal comes blazing through, and then Bailey had to bunny hop over the top and lost the football. Holmes with a long one. Long ball. Could just about carry them. Henry with a hand to it. Gallup with the fist.
Pretty good back there this year. Ty Gallup was game 20. He was last week's Rising Star nomination. Premiership in game 6. Found some good players, the Brisbane Lions, over time, and recruited some rippers as well. So Chris Fagan on the bench, he must be really happy, but a lot of game time left in this as the ball's up toward the boundary, and we'll get a ball in.
He's tough, Dwayne, there's no doubt about that.
Chris Fagan or?
Ty Gallup.
Right.
He's not as tough as his old man.
Chris Fagan, is his old man tougher, was he?
Yeah, he was a brute in the EDFL and the Western Districts footy.
Sounds like you're talking from experience.
He's left a trail.
Fall at the back, won it down to Neal. Neal, hurried ball along the line. Hipwoods couldn't quite complete the mark and out of play.
Chris Fagan tough too. He's not under the roof of the coach's box in warm heated comfort. He's out there on the boundary line in 4-degree temperature. Doesn't mind. You guys didn't do the pre-game from the boundary, I noticed.
Smith out. Atkins taken over.
Not here to prove anything, Dwayne.
Well, you don't have anything to prove. Not as Kingy. Good to have Bossy in, 3-time Premiership superstar, Brownlow medalist, AFL Hall of Fame, soon to be AFL Hall of Fame legend. Great to have him in on the front line with us for the first time for the season tonight.
There's an interesting little byplay just with Fletcher and Manor. They clearly don't want Geelong to have that +1 around the contest. You can sort of see how he's working them over physically.
Manor, Dempsey flicks it behind him. It was clever to Smith. Smith runs to 50 and then barrels it towards goal and registers it behind.
Well, what can they do to get Jeremy Cameron into this game? He's yet to touch the ball. He's been largely forward of the ball, so they haven't seen a great deal of opportunity, but they've had 17 inside 50s, and we haven't seen Cameron yet.
Rayner flies, ball forces to the back to Ollie Dempsey, gave to Kolajasny, out wide to Guthrie, so another build-up for the Cats. He spears one, Martin's his target, no arm chop, ball hits the deck. Jack Henry went at 1,000,000 mile an hour, gave it to Martin from the pocket, or host. They're edging a little closer and their confidence, you feel, is rising. 43 points was the margin that Brisbane went out to, and there's a lot of time to reel it in.
Well, in round one against Fremantle, they were down by 35 points at a similar stage of the game. They've done this before. It's got to build slowly.
Bailey up the spine, Cats everywhere. Smith read it better, and then goes long towards the full forwards, and a whistle. Cats are going to come up with a free kick.
What looked like a strange entry, Vossi, a real high ball opportunity, but it did put the defenders under enormous pressure.
I don't think it was deliberate, but these are the small wins you need, and being able to bridge that gap on the scoreboard. Having these really critical wins doesn't have to be much. Small turnover, small win at contest, small win forward of the ball.
Second best goalkeeper last year for Geelong comes in and kicks their seconds. A much-needed Coles goal for the Cats.
It was a strange kick from Bailey, really aggressive up the corridor, wasn't it? It just gave them a good look, gave them an opportunity, but just there, just a small grab, and the umpires are really hot on that in 2026. If you're a defender and you wrap your arms around a forward, you're gone. Tuck a jumper, you're gone. Don't mind it, it's been consistent all year. The fight back starts. 2 in a row to the Cats.
Big finish though, to take that responsibility. I know Dangerfield kicked that one on the boundary line, but to line up 15 minutes on that should be an easy goal. But that can actually kill the energy of the team if you miss. So to go back and finish.
Richard Woods in the middle against Draper. Cats have some momentum. Holmes doing some good work. Hammers it to half forward, off hands. Chip back inside for the captain. A little fumble. Goes back, mops up his mess. Oh, that'll do! Dangerous! Dangerfield looking dangerous inside 50.
That's 3 in a row. Starting to build. Starting to get some ascendancy out of the middle. Yeah, it's a great tackle again. Disruption from Holmes. He's done that a couple of times so far. And just a little bit of luck. Half a fumble there from Danger. That's a great finish. Centre bounce is so critical, aren't they, Vossi, in modern footy?
Critical, give you the territory you need. And you saw the ambush play there where Brisbane were about to pick the ball up and they were ambushed to be able to get the ball forward, but he can do some unbelievable things, Dangerfield.
Plenty of cheers round the stadium now. Mullen can't quite pick it off the floor. Rayner off the ground. Bailey's collection was good. Lohman can't quite control it. Guthrie swatted it away and won it towards Smith. Smith's high floater. And Gardner on his chest.
Just keeping an eye on Neil there. He tried to get a heavy knock, didn't get up.
Not 15.
Quickly.
Umpire said not 15. Dangerfield thought it was 15.
Oh, he had him.
Thought it was 15. And he let him go. Maybe he didn't hear him. Was that a push or a tackle? Was that a push or a tackle?
50 metres.
Cameron's not allowed to play on advantage. That's 50. So Cameron thought it was his. He wasn't holding the ball because he didn't tackle him. It was going to be a push in the back. So it's a double whammy for Jeremy. He gave away the free, and then he kicked it goal thinking it was his ball.
Yeah, and Lockie Neal has been kneed in the head by a teammate.
We're looking at that upstairs.
Yeah, spot on, Kitty. The doctor spent probably about 30 seconds with him on the ground for that assessment. Back now on the bench having a look at vision.
Wilmot, Gardner, long ball towards the square, punched away by Stewart. Neil got it in midair. Lohman, Reveal, McKenna has time to swing around and have a stab. Cut off by Edwards.
Having a good season. Edwards hits out wide. Ollie Henry got up and allowed it to get to the back. Reveal, turned outside. A little bit of a slip, and it is damp. It's been raining quite a bit today and the last 3 days. Ainsworth takes the ground and takes to Sharon. Able to take the contact. Ainsworth sends it back inside 50. Maybe almost a touch on it. Loman got up early, couldn't mark it. No, Sullivan wrapped up, dropped it. McKenna, sneaky chance off the deck. It skims. Ollie Dempsey, who does work from goal line to goal line, does brilliantly again, and that's going to be deemed a behind taken through by O'Connor.
Deliberately, accidentally walked over the line.
Gee, he's in a spot of bother. He was dizzy there by the looks of that little stumble.
Guthrie has the football.
You'd think he'd have to at least do a downstairs test, the HIA.
Along the wing, pulls the kick. Gardner with the fist out.
Yeah, that's the piece of vision the doctors are having a look at now, that exact replay. So going out now to have a chat again and probably bring Lachie Neal off.
You'd think Lachie Neal would know that he needs to come off for a check, wouldn't you?
Oh, they don't do that.
They don't do that? Haven't we been asking the players to look after their own health, though?
Are they sending him off, are they? They're sending him off. This is fantastic. We've come a long way.
And it'll be the stumble here, King, that they'll be looking at.
Yeah.
Look, clearly the contact itself, but the fact he actually stayed down and got up and just stumbled a little is what would be concerning them.
Do you think they'll ever get to the stage where the players will simply look after themselves and say, no, I need to come off because I stumbled? Bossy?
Very hard to tell the competitors to do that, isn't it?
We're trying our hardest to do the right thing by them, though.
What we do have is a system around them that supports that.
But we normally stop the game for blood rules, Dwayne, and not really for this sort of instance. So I love what they've done here.
It's a win.
This is fantastic. They've stopped the game, player in trouble, head trauma, get him off.
We deem him that he's not in a good enough state to make his own decision on that, so it has to be made for him. Look at he's arguing the case.
To Koning, down to Smith, hugs the boundary line, and then that may have come off a boot of a lion.
Plenty of verbal with Neal as he was coming past us here on the boundary line with the Cats fans over the boundary line.
Short kick to Sam De Koning. In game 100 takes the mark, about to launch it. Every line player on the ground ahead of him. There's not a lot of room to roam. He gets to Ollie Dempsey. Can't mark it, shovel it. Manor shut down, couldn't do something with it. Ainsworth knocked it out. Will Ashcroft played for the free and was clever. Everyone expected him to pick the ball up, but he didn't. He tapped it and wins the free in the back pocket for the Lions.
Crowd's not quite anymore. They've joined in.
Will Ashcroft, under pressure, kicks it outside 50. No mark Hipwood. Fell to Dempsey. Kicks it back from where it came. Wilmot was in the front spot. Gardner believes he dragged it in, but it was grounded and a ball up.
Rocks.
Chris Fagan, 10th season as coach, the two-time premiership coach, has won the last two. Will Ashcroft didn't have pride, got it out. Dunkley out wide. Zach Bailey handballed it to himself and then took it out.
And now that they're able to play a forward half game, the Cats, their forwards are getting the matchups on the Brisbane Lions defenders that they like. Jack Henry has made his way over to Harris Andrews now.
Just tuned in to Fox Footy. 43 points was the biggest margin the Lions have had. The Cats are on the way back. It's a Mount Everest kind of climb, but they've taken some big steps. Loman, a little fumble. Then he jumps back in. He was slung late. Manor tried to break through a couple. Wilmot dumps it back out. Sam De Koning and Blitzars goes to double fister straight to Loman, which was bizarre. He rolls it to half forward. It might work. Logan Morris about to pounce. Kept it in front. Took them all on. Runs the loop. Heads toward. Levi got up there. The high mark got his thing and dumped through for a behind.
It was a great kick, wasn't it, to Morris's advantage on the outer wing.
Certainly was a great build-up. Bruin in the back pocket. Geelong with the 2 goals this quarter so far. That's not a mark, it's been touched. Andrews wraps him up. Gets away with it because he didn't know. Koenig and Draper nullify each other to ground. Rayner, that's up in the air, won't be a mark. Levi Ashcroft with some volleyball work and then flung it out. O'Sullivan, Rayner grabs him, he drops it now to play.
Brisbane Lions began the round 5th. Cats began the round 4th. Both teams 9 wins, 6 losses coming in. This is the battle for 4th spot on the ladder. Lions will take the Cats spot if they win this away from home. Draper with slap down. Dangerous area. Humphries against the grain. Flings it back to Ollie Dempsey. Bumped on the kick, but it'll find Marlon with chest mark, and he wants to go. O'Connor to Neil. Open space. Jeremy Cameron's hardly seen it. He's about to run onto a Chezza. It skims. It rolls. It might get there anyway. How's the wow factor of that? The Cats are back from 43 points down. They're 3 goals away. 18 points to margin. Shannon Neal, the high five with Chezza, who let it roll and it got there for about 70.
Chezza's never been more pleased with 0 disposals at this stage after seeing that skip through, Vossi. He thought he had the perfect run on that one. Quick dump kick from Dempsey. This is brilliant play. Speed of ball movement. Throw a punch back at the Lions as soon as they trade up out the back. This just kept going and going. He's kicked that from about 80.
And the rest.
And Chezza's thinking, stop, stop, stop. Wow, here they come, the Cats. That's 4 in a row.
What's behind?
Brisbane kicked the first 8 goals, and now Geelong have kicked the next 4. Mullen, De Koning, Holmes. Bunts it out in the Martin direction. Good contest with Andrews.
Got to tip your hat to the Cats though, don't you? The response that they get the reset at quarter time. And then they go to work again. That is a really mature team that knows their game.
That's where you'd love Vossi when Chris Scott grabbed him for about a minute and a half. So as soon as he ran out the whole group, what he actually said in that moment.
De Koning and Draper. De Koning tried to rip it out of the air, got it anyway. A dribbler that gets its way inside 50. Jack Henry went and got it. Stripped by Answorth, knocked away. Fletcher caught. Wilmot caught. Off the deck was Jeremy Cameron held. Cats fans screaming. Gardner got up. Answorth back outside 50. Stewart takes another intercept mark. He wants to go. The umpire said you went, Tom. Sorry, Tom, but you went. Back to Bruin. Down the spine. Jack Henry got up there late. 1-2, not the third grab. Ollie gets it. Flings it over his head. Cameron. Ollie breaks free. Martin. Another. It's a 2-goal game. In a blink, the Cats from 43 down to 12 down.
It's all been just done from different ways. The ball is just hacked long, top of the square, get a great contest. And there's been some exceptional fight on the floor for the Cats. That's their 12th inside 50 to 4 this quarter, but the pressure and the repeat entry, the ground level presence, the shape on the outside, takes it to the outside, and Jack Martin, what a classy finish.
Just some of their big boys bringing the ball to ground, as we see Lockie there being advised that he's got to go for a medical assessment. Bit of feedback from the crowd. I hope you're proud of yourself, mate.
Worthy of a Harvey Norman replay, that goal. Geelong with 5 goals in a row now. Lohman in the back from Humphries. Lohman. Sky ball in the Draper direction, just bobbles off his chest. Bruin hatches over the top of the football. They go to ground. It's going to spill out. Levi Ashcroft had it for a moment. Hot football to win. Will Ashcroft tries to crash his way out. Cameron picks it up. He ducks, takes the tackle, and holding the ball.
Well, they're just starting to win these 50-50 contests now, Vossi. The really important and critical ones are the Cats.
And now getting the ball to the outside as well, getting speed on it, being able to create the overlap and explore out the back.
And that proves your point. They stay down the outer side, but they know the dimensions of the ground so well. It stays in the field of play. Dangerfield to Jeremy. Can he peel onto it? Almost. It's an almost kind of night for Jeremy, and an almost kind of season. You can still see the arm strap. There's a bit of a theory that he gets a bit of tingle in that arm or the fingers if he gets that arm knocked. And there he is side by side with Gardner. And he's shutting him down at the moment. Gardner trying to do the job all night. It's a long night when you're on Jezza.
Henry pats it down. Dangerfield's got access. Here goes the banana. Kicks it fat. And out of bounds.
Got that look about him tonight, Patrick Dangerfield, that angry, contested ball winning aggression. Just look at him at every contest. He's just looking to go low. We've got problems here in the pocket for Berry.
Yeah, Berry just limping away there. Leicester to the contest. Bailey, Fort, swings on a dime, up and under. Dunkley spoiled by Blitzarves, grabbed by Smith, fed it out to O'Sullivan, couldn't gather it. McKenna pressured him. Blitzarves over the top, back to O'Sullivan.
Amazing how games can flip. So the Lions open up a 43-point lead. Now Lockie Neal's in danger of missing the remainder of the game if he doesn't pass the HIA, and now Berry has an issue. Bouncing ball. Oh, Logan Morris's flick was nearly so clever. Tackle laid to keep it in the area. Charlie Cameron and Morris on the same page, but the ball wouldn't oblige.
Move that pass.
Lions need a nerve settler. Well, not down to Lyman, now to Bailey. Got away. Got a kick away. Straight up in the air. Umpire just reminding players that wasn't 15, it went 1. Tackle laid by Dunkley. And get another ball up.
Thank you, Mark. Russ, Sam and Sam.
Draper in the 100 game. Decoding and then Bruin. Hit solidly by Bailey. Spills out. Will Ashcroft with a hurried shot at goal from behind.
That was a big hit. And Bruin sprung the ball free. If he had tackled him, it may have been a free kick.
Again, they try to use the width, but unsuccessful this time. So Leicester with the free for the Lions. Chip kick to Levi. Levi Ashcroft has it. Chips it to the hot spot and Fort met in the marking contest. Umpire says play on. Will Ashcroft.
Okay.
Just missed it.
Right out. Lawson, right out. Thank you, Jake.
Happy to take it open side here, the Cats.
Humphreys, searching ball. Dempsey just couldn't quite control it, but hacked it off the ground. That'll work. Matter, and now Holmes. Holmes can tuck it under the arm. Had one bounce. Rallies the troops. Kick and a half from goal to Cameron. Not quite, and out of play.
Ollie Dempsey's the one. He's just such a clever wingman. He's just got the ability to tap the ball at the right time, take possession, create.
Umpire just explaining that he's legally allowed to do that, Darcy Gardner, because that was still in the marking contest and he knocked it out. So still a spoil effectively. Fletcher, who tries to big thump on, didn't quite work. Bailey Smith goes down. Gardner got it out to Will Ashcroft. Middle of the ground, O'Sullivan. He was held when he didn't have it. This young gun, rising superstar of the competition, to send the Cats back inside 50.
Eyes darting around, keen to get the pill and then kick it down the spine. Dunkley got a touch to it. Comes out, ball to be won here. Manor did well, was met solidly. Knew he was going to get contact of Blitzarves, who's taken to ground. After it was 43 points in the first quarter, Brisbane lead. It's now a 14-point ball game. Thursday night footy on Fox. Tunstall flared it out, grabbed by Bruin. Momentum carries him over the line.
This is where you just got to be careful. I'm looking at Holmes versus Will Ashcroft, just off stoppage. Just got to keep your concentration here. He's looking to light up and charge through.
You've got Will Ashcroft on Holmes. You've got Levi Ashcroft on Bailey Smith. Cats have dangers everywhere here. Ball flicked down. And Will Ashcroft got it and got away from Holmes. Has a bounce. Straight down the spine. He's got no one to kick to. Draper's going to have to run back and beat 2. Edwards put it to grass. Draper got there. Knocked it to Charlie. Now it's alive. Wide. Morris got there. Still alive for him. Pocket. He couldn't put it. He does to Lyman. He spotted him out of the corner of his eye. Maybe the blonde hair helped. Spotted him out of nowhere.
Class. The end-to-end is exhilarating at the moment. Both teams going from one end to the other, coast to coast.
This is entertainment in its highest form. 4th versus 5th on the AFL ladder. The 2 grand finalists from last year, and they're turning it on.
That's what these games are against very good football teams, is that the momentum shifts that happen throughout these games, and then the fight happens. And, obviously Brisbane had it in the first quarter. Geelong have certainly answered the question, and then it's been a fight ever since. And we see, obviously, Morris get out the back here, but the composure on the ground to be able to spot Lohman, top of the goal square, and finish that play was exceptional. And we've also seen Neil, I think, just come back onto the ground.
He looks pretty confident there, doesn't he? That he'll be fine to go.
Clay Lohman with 2 goals. Springing around. It's Lockie Neal. 20 points the margin. Along the ground, Berry scooped it up straight to a cat. Mullen probing ball inside 50. Cameron no mark. Round the corner, leaves 50 but straight to Dangerfield. Dangerfield, who started well. Kick towards full forward. Neal just pressured enough by Andrews. Quick hands Wiltshire. Atkins, Henry round the corner. No mark Martin. Manor tried to fend off, then he just takes it to ground. Good game of footy now. As departing the scene, Max Holmes.
Yeah, it's like watching an old-fashioned heist movie. The Lions came in here after casing the joint for 2 days back-to-back. They've been in town and all guns blazing. But it's game on now. Martin about to add one to the Cats score. Had the bus warmed up for the big getaway about 15 minutes ago, the Lions, but they know they've got a game on their hands now.
And as he lines up, Lockie Neal standing up on the boundary line, ready to come back into the game.
What a pick-up he has been. Jack Barton spears it through the middle and cuts it back to 14 points again.
Well, there's danger everywhere on both teams' forward half. I mean, you look at the ability to score from stoppages tonight. That's the 3rd score to the Cats from stoppage, and not hard to see why. Martin gets that little handball in there and then just sneaks forward. And again, the defender just loses a little bit of concentration. Who's responsible for Jack? No one. You give these guys an inch and they'll take a mile. What a game. Look at him there. Handballs the ball off. Who's going to pick him up? Exit stage left. Bang.
Martin, Neal, Dangerfield, all multiple goal kickers for Geelong. Rayner. Handball intercepted. Blitzarves. Atkins flicked it out. Stolen by Dunkley to Berry. At half-back. Chips to the wing. No mark by McKenna. To ground it goes. Rayner and Answorth could have rattled it. Answorth kicked the smothered Guthrie. Ferocious out of play.
Difficult to tell why he's gone down off the back of that incident.
Big 5 minutes and 50 left. Edwards at the back. Hacks it off the carpet. Across the field. Reville looks around to see how many players he's got around him, and he knows he's hemmed in. Harris Andrews. Well, he did that prior, so Dangerfield must have to hesitate with your tackle in that instance. Try and give them a little bit of prior and get a ball up. Edwards got there late, fought right with him. Ball hits the deck. Lockie Neal back on, looking okay. Will Ashcroft, chip kick. Rayner opens up for him to Berry, who looked like he hurt an ankle about 10 minutes ago, but has the run back now. Chips it out wide to Lester, who can get and go if he wants to.
Lester's got some room. He flirts at the boundary line. It's too wide for Morris. Cheers started as the ball was in midair for the Cats. Kick inboard. O'Connor had to grass it. And then round the corner, Stewart's in the front spot was Leicester. Couldn't mark it. Blitzers out to Wiltshire. Long ball, no one home, bar Andrews. That memorable fist at the end of the match last week when he celebrated. Backman don't get too many chances to celebrate like that. He made the most of it. Answorth chips it down the line. Gallop.
Dumps it out wide. Eric Hipwood's going to go up. Got a hand on it. Berry's about to pounce. Little slip up against the boundary. Feeds it in. McKenna needs to get it around his body. Hit the post. Into the padding. Only a behind.
Gee, it was a good effort, wasn't it, from there?
Hey, clearing, please.
Just took the back of the post. Flushed it.
Geelong with 5 of the 6 goals this quarter. The Loman goal, the only other goal for Brisbane.
Play on.
Kick to the contest. Edwards works his way into the pack. Blitzarves flicks it into the air. Fort was dispossessed. O'Sullivan tries to forage for it. And then that's off. Almost deflected off the boot of Atkins. It's going to be a throw in.
The number one concern for Chris Scott would be Brisbane have scored from 70% of their inside 50s. They just look so vulnerable down back at the moment, the Cats.
These two teams know each other so well. Played each other 7 times in 2 seasons. This is the 8th time they've played in a couple of seasons. Met in the grand final, met earlier this year. Met pre-season as well as Bailey Smith. Is trapped, play on try, the umpire said, cutting some slack. Two coaches know each other well.
Give us some room behind. Darcy, Mitch.
Chris got himself an ex-line. A thump into the space. Will Ashcroft pounced, but Mullen pounced on him. He handled it to himself almost, and he got it trickler. 3-4-A behind. That would have been crafty had he got that goal through.
Oh, that would have been Kevin Bartlett eating your heart out.
Yeah.
He's just such a clever player around goals.
Smith.
Good across. Really shut them down here with their run.
MHBA quiet at the moment. Long ball. Gardner. The tap down towards Cameron. Dempsey. Tight ropes the boundary to Wiltshire. Runs hard. Centering ball's a good one to Edwards. So Mitch Edwards, who it's play on, was going to go for his first goal. He pounds it off to the right man, Neil. It's another one on a chilly night in Geelong. The Cats fans are nice and warmed up now. 10 points the margin.
And again, it's the overlap run on the outside, boundary side. Just keeping speed on the ball. They won a big 50-50 on the Harvey Norman replay. You can see it here. Cameron gets possession, just pops the handball. It's Dempsey again. He's been involved in everything in this term for the Cats. That's his 10th disposal, 4th score involvement. So it's fast and wide, and then get the ball back central. Well, a cool play on and a good finish in the end from Big Shannon Neal, who's been terrific tonight with his ability to compete in the air and bring the ball to ground. 3 goals, 2 for the big man. And they're right back in it. 10 points to the difference of the Brisbane Lions.
The margin was 43. Lions kicked the first 8 goals of this game. It would be one of the greatest comebacks in Geelong history if they get the chocolates from here. Smith, the roller inside 50. Clean ball to couple. Woodchild might have been held. He was. This is going to cut the margin back to single figures. It'll make it a 1-kick game if Ollie Woodchild can deliver his 8th goal in game 10. The crowd give him silence. The Cats have come into this 4th spot on the ladder, but having lost 3 of their last 4, Brisbane Lions have won their past 3 coming in. It'll work its way back. Too much. Only behind.
And what's changed, Kingy?
Just their ability to lock the ball in the forward half. The Cats this term's been the difference. Get it in there, firstly, and then lock it in and build some pressure. 20 inside 50s for the quarter. It's huge.
Play on, Steps, play on.
Gardner called to play on, in a little bit of a pickle, goes over the top. Fletcher, hurried handball, skittles a couple. Berry, inboard. Answorth runs into a brick wall. Hopes for Bailey. Wasn't running in the right direction. Andrews, Fort, Bailey. He has to zig and zag. Out to Gallop. They stay composed, the lines. Long ball towards half forward. Humphreys with the fist. Front and centre, Bruin. Bobbles towards Cameron. Bruin off the deck. Inboard to Martin. To Humphreys. Cats have some run here. Bruin has Dempsey running laterally. Kick inside 50. Wiltshire will have another go. He wants to palm it off. He's missed his chance, I fancy.
He's going to have to take the shot now, but again, it's speed on that outer wing and their handball chain. Just putting Brisbane to the sword immediately. Forwards charging back, creating voids of space, pockets of space around the top of 50. Big kick.
Ollie Wiltshire has kicked so far 7 goals this year from 52. And in the attempt of giving it everything, he's just glanced it to the right.
Been one of the more amazing halves of footy to watch, though. First 8 goals and the Lions were unbelievably good, and now the Cats in this second term have showed what grit and determination they've got. Fletcher thumps it out, seconds tick. Rayner got up, knocked it down. Bruin has had an impact, dumps it back inside 50. Dangerfield gets up there, got it! He's pulling out one of those captain's kind of games. He was the guy who kicked the first goal for the Cats from 50 at the end of the opening term. He started all this and is about to end the half and finish the half with another if he strikes it well. One on the siren at quarter time. Can he do it again at half time and cut it back to a 2-point game? As the siren sounds, their captain
Kick is good.
to the near side, only a behind. But this is one to blow your mind. This game at the moment, 4th versus 5th on the AFL ladder. Chris Fagan, 10th season as coach. He's got a deep bag of tricks as well on the last couple of flags. And Chris Scott, 16th season as Geelong coach with a couple of flags as a coach and 2 as a player. Big second half coming as we head downstairs to Brad Johnson.
Well, it was all about the Brisbane Lions, wasn't it, Dwayne, in that first quarter? They were unbelievable. It's been a great game of footy, in fact, for this whole entire half here at GMHBA. But the Lions were on fire, and then in that second term, they lost their way through the midfield in particular. So therefore, the Cats were able to get themselves back on top. So as they go into the rooms, they'll be asking the questions of themselves, how they get their momentum back in this game. Can they replicate some of what they produced in that first term as well? So that's the big question that'll be coming out of the Brisbane Lions, especially with Lachie Neale now back into the middle of the ground and passing the HIA test that he had to undergo in that second term. For the Cats, of course, they'll be pumped now. Chris Scott spoke to them at quarter time, spoke to the entire group after the game. I'd love to obviously hear and find out exactly what he said, but he motivated them, he got them going, and led by their leaders in that term as well. Bailey Smith was excellent, Dempsey was great, Danger's on fire, as is Big Shannon Neale up front.
We're in for a fantastic second half, Jono. Thank you. It was Brisbane by 37 at quarter time. It's back to 7 at the major break. Well, we're locked into this one tonight, but tomorrow night a couple of beauties as well. The Western Bulldogs travel up to Sydney. It is the Swans and the Dogs at the SCG, and it's the West Coast and Adelaide. We have got a Fox Footy Bonanza, a double header tomorrow night for Friday Night Football.
You're watching Thursday Night Footy on Fox. Brought to you by People First Bank.
All right, they'll be back, the commentators, for a bit more of analysis on the opening half, but here it is, GMHBA Stadium, and it's the Brisbane Lions 9-6-60 leading the Cats 7-11-53. It's the Lions by 7 points. I tell you what, this has been, a game of 2 quarters. Of course, the Lions started off the game well, It was as though the Cats, they didn't get off the bus in that opening term. Look, I didn't think it was overly special by Brisbane in the opening term, but they did kick 8 straight. There we go in the opening term. And, of course, the Lions, they sort of didn't get out of the change rooms after quarter time because the Cats, they came back hard, kicking 6 goals, 6. 6 goals, 6. They could have been in front in this game. That being said, Brisbane 1 goal, 6 also in that second term. Tell you what, I think we're in for a good game nonetheless. So now the game's evened out a little bit. Geelong has the momentum, just missing a couple of goals there. Unfortunately, Paddy missed that last one on the siren for the Catters. That would have got him back within 2 points, but I think we're in for a cracking second half here. I don't know whether we'll see big stretches like we did in the first quarter and second quarter. I think it'll be tighten right up. But Geelong certainly did get a fair bit of their run going really well in that second term. And, of course, as I said, Paddy Dangerfield, he's having a cracking game. Dempsey also doing well. And the Lions going pretty well. Charlie Broom started off really well in that opening term. Let's just have a little bit of a look at the player stats. Let me just load this back up. My gosh. We'll have a look at the goal scorers so far up until half-time. And, of course, Shannon Neale, 3 goals, 2. He's had plenty of shots. He's had 5 kicks, 3 goals, 2. Shannon Neale for the Cats. Jack Martin has got 2. Paddy Dangerfield. Paddy, all the dangers. He's kicked 2 goals, 2. The goal scorers there for the Cats. For the Brisbane Lions, Logan Morris, Kai Lohman, Charlie Broom Cameron and Zach Bailey have all got 2 goals apiece. Levi Ashcroft bobbing in there with 1 goal. That is your goal scorers up until half-time, folks. Let's have a look at the disposal getters, see how they're going in the opening half. And, of course, Will Ashcroft on top of this table for the Brisbane Lions. He's had 19 touches so far in the opening half. 15 kicks, 4 handballs. He's had 2 marks, a tackle, 4 clearances, 406 metres gained, so not too bad there. That's the highest I can see just at the moment. Of course, Bailey Smith for the Catters, best for the Cats and second. 16 disposals he's had. Not a bad opening half from him. 9 kicks, 7 handballs, 2 marks. Tackling well with 5. Clearances, he's had 3 and kicked that 1 behind. Tommy Stewart, a couple of marks for 14 possessions, 9 kicks, 5 handballs. Zach Bailey, next best for the Brisbane Lions on 14. As I said, Oliver Dempsey, the caller said he's been having a cracking game. 13 touches. Maxie Holmes, Tannenbrough on 12, as has Levi Ashcroft. All right, let's just go back to the commentators. Bit of analysis on the opening half, and we'll get back to the stats in just a moment.
And it is an extraordinary game of football we have here at the Cattery. Geelong bouncing back after a shocking opening term where the Lions kicked the first 8 goals of the match. Patrick Dangerfield nailing one just on the siren, which certainly got the ball rolling for the Cats. And what about this long range from Shannon Neale? I think Jason Dunsall and the team on bounce will be lapping that up on Sunday night. Michael Voss joins us as well. It's hard to make sense of what we've seen, Chase. It has been 2 completely different quarters.
It's an extraordinary first half of football, Sarah. 8 goals to 1 for Brisbane in the first quarter, 6 goals to 1 for Geelong in the second. 14 of 16 goals at one end. I don't know why, Vossi, because it doesn't look like there's a breeze favouring that end. It's just the way it's panned out. But in that second quarter, the Cats were able to turn things around and the ball legitimately lived in their forward 50.
Yeah, well, they had 24 to centre turnovers, which is quite extraordinary. I think at 37 inside 50, so that is some fair rate. And that's been effectively the game, hasn't it? Yep. Geelong have been playing the forward half game. Brisbane have been super efficient when they've gone inside 50, so it's who can hold their nerve for longer.
Geelong coming off the bye, they looked like they were still on holidays. So they're 10 wins and 12 losses post-bye in the last decade, and it meant that the Brisbane Lions completely jumped them.
Got off to a fly, didn't they? Charlie Cameron zipped out of the blocks. He kicked a couple. We had Zach Bailey kicking a couple. They were all getting amongst it. Logan Morris looked dangerous early. But as Vossi said, it was the efficiency. I think the first 6 inside 50s were all goals. Every time they went inside, they just looked like they were going to kick. And then when they got an opportunity like that one there, they made the most of the set shot. At the other end, Geelong had a few opportunities but missed them. Brisbane just nailed everything. And it looked like, well, this is going to be a margin that's going to be too big for anyone to work back over. But the thing flipped on its head in that second term. So as good as the Lions were in the first quarter, Geelong were equally as good in the second.
And there's a message there from Chris. I'm not sure exactly what he said clearly, but have the 17 inside 50s, I think it was, or close there in the first quarter, is about persistence, but not being able to capitalise on your opportunities. But just Brisbane looked absolutely lethal early, and you're thinking, how far? But the maturity of this Geelong side to be able to steady themselves and then get their game going back the other way was hugely impressive.
Vossi, you've been able to isolate how they were able to get control, particularly with the ball.
Yeah, well, Brisbane have been playing their formation or their forwards really high up the field. Now, this is from a kick-in, but being able to use their width. And we know they like to access the corridor, but they've been prepared to be able to take it to the wings and then work the defence back, use that back space back towards goals. And you see Brisbane, this kick here, really important. Just take it off the line, just forces the Geelong defence to be out of position and then attack the deep from there. And Loman obviously gets a mark at the top of the goal square. So that was a real hallmark of their game in the first half. Their turnover and their efficiency off turnover was really impressive from their back half and obviously from their forward half turnovers.
We're going to have a look at our Ashley and Martin proper play. Sometimes, Jace, you need your skipper to stand up and stop the rot, and that's what Patrick Dangerfield did with a goal that just snuck in there before quarter time, and then he came out after the break and was able to nail one as well. Both were so timely.
Yeah, it looked like they'd be goalless first quarter. This is the last kick of the quarter. He's able to do that from just outside 50 when they desperately needed it. And then fast forward, early second term, you want to build some momentum, and they did that. They kicked early goals. Dangerfield to get involved. So he had a very quiet first term until he did kick that goal, but all of a sudden he's kicked a couple, leading the team. There's a good feeling about them. They're up and about. They've turned a 43-point deficit into just a 7-point deficit. So they go into half-time with all the momentum.
Vossi, you want to have a look at Tom Stewart. We spoke about him and his inclusion in our pre-game show, just how important he is and the role that Brisbane are trying to play in taking him out of the game.
Yeah, it's so hard to be able to do because eventually forwards want to be able to play out the football, and then when he can manage the space like this, he just sets up their forward half game. And Brisbane have decided to invest the numbers back to limit the scoring, but he just sets up so beautifully behind the ball. It will be a conversation in the Brisbane rooms about what they do about this when the balls do come out. How do we win those contests more? How do we neutralise it? But the deep entry, the scramble, the fight, the repeated entry, just being able to find that window of opportunity. And as we saw with Dangerfield, the class of that finish and also of Martin to be able to finish that goal was really impressive.
Vossi, we're going to let you head back to the commentary box shortly. We're going to go down to Brad Johnson, who's watching everything unfold at ground level. Jono, you spoke before the game about the Lions back six and the role they would play tonight. How are you seeing things?
Yeah, Sarah, they've been in great form, the back six for the Lions, especially last week with their contested ball and their ground level ball as well. First quarter tonight, they were on fire because they were able to create a game that was played in the forward half. So it allowed their defenders to get the right matchups and then be able to compress the ground at the right opportunity as well. Harris Andrews has been excellent in that first quarter, as was Gardner, as was Gallup. Lester was excellent as well with some big spalls and an assertive play as well. Wilmot was providing the run. Then it all changed in the second term for this back six. So they've got a big discussion that they'll be having at half-time in regards to how to get the initiative back. I think they'll be sitting with the midfield group having a good chat to them as well in regards to what they didn't do in the second term. They didn't push as hard to help protect the ground, get back to support their defence as well. So I think there'll be some strong conversations happening there on how they can wrestle the momentum back, because this back six is so important to the structure of the Brisbane Lions, and when the game is played in the front half for them, they can set up perfectly. They get their loose behind the ball, they get the matchups correct, and so they'll be looking to re-establish that in the third term. And Jason, I can confirm there is no breeze down here whatsoever. I don't know what's happening in this game of football, Jace, with all the goals kicked to the Joel Selwood end of the ground.
Extraordinary, hasn't it been? Definitely all the goals kicked to one end of the ground. But Jono makes a really good point about the Lions' defence as being under extraordinary pressure in that second quarter.
Yeah, the ball lived down there, so you've got to crack eventually. And we saw a couple of mistakes even from the likes of Harris Andrews positioning-wise. So they need to win a little bit more territory when they come out in the third term.
All right, John Ralph joins us with all the latest news. We saw Lachie Neale go off with a HIA. Is he okay, Ralphie? He did come back out, so we're hoping so.
He certainly is, and he was removed from the ground by the AFL arc spotter under the mandatory removal process. You remember here 2 years ago where Jeremy Cameron was chased around by the club doctor. The AFL brought some new rules in, so certainly got the staggers after that incident in the centre of the ground where he was needing the head there, and both the arc spotter and the Brisbane doctor were keen to get him off. The text came through to the Brisbane doctor: we will stop the game, off you get him. That's exactly how the rules should work, and after 15 minutes, where he was checked underneath in the rooms, he was given the tick off and he's back out there. So, look, we've seen some worrying incidents. I think that's exactly how that system should work.
Yeah, it worked well. Thanks, Ralphie. Some team changes across the weekend with thanks to HBF.
Well, certainly big news for the Western Bulldogs. So Cody Waitman comes back in after an elbow injury. That means that Riley West has been dropped to make way for him. 6 changes, though, for Sydney. So no Logan McDonald with a quad injury. Joel Amati, of course, is already out with his own issue there, and Achilles. And certainly Peter Laddams also has been made way from that side with his own injury as well. Hawthorn, Jack Gunston, well, he comes back from a midfoot sprain. Some time in hospital with abdominal issues or abdominal pain for Josh Battle. He will take his spot in that side against Melbourne. We bring back Latrell Pickett, Tom McDonald and Jake Melksham have both been dropped, though, for the Demons against Hawthorn.
Some big changes there, thanks, Ralphie. A big weekend of sport. We have the Suncorp Super Netball Grand Final on Saturday night. I'll talk to Emily Mannix next. And then on Sunday, it is the British Formula One Grand Prix.
All right, while they're just on a break, folks. Hey, Eddie, stay hunky. Hey, doing in the live chat. You know what? I actually forgot to put a poll up. Let me put the poll up. Who's going to win this game? Who wins? If you're in the live chat, you can vote. Let me just put that up now. And then we will finish off those stats up until halftime. Where were we? The player stats, disposal count. There we go. Levi Ashcroft, I think we got down to on 12. Sean Manor on 11 there. For the Catters, of course, Paddy Dangerfield, 10 touches. 8 kicks, 2 handballs, 2 marks, 3 tackles, a clearance, 2 goals, 2. So he's going really well. Cam Rayner, the Bull, he's a little bit quiet there for the Brisbane Lions, just a 9 touches. Yet to get on the scoreboard. He has had 1 clearance, though. As we just roll on down. Lockie Neal, there we go. Went off with a HIA, but he came back onto the ground. Cleared from the doctors, just the 8 touches. So a little bit quiet game. The Brisbane Lions certainly need him to lift in the second half if they want to beat a chance in this game. 3 clearances, 3 kicks, 5 handballs for Lockie Neal. Logan Morris, 2 goals from his 8 disposals, 6 kicks there. Oliver Henry, 8 touches, 4 on 4. For the Catters, and of course Mitchell Edwards there for the Cats. He's had 12 hit-outs, 3 clearances from his 7 disposals. There we go. Harris Andrews, the 8 touches. Kai Lohman also 7 touches there. Sam DeConing, 7 touches there for the Cats. We roll on down. Jared Berry, another quiet game, 7 touches, 4 kicks, 3 handballs there for the Lions. Shannon Neal, I tell you what, when he gets the ball, he's scoring every time. So 6 disposals. He's had 5 kicks and a handball, 3 marks, but he has kicked 3 goals, 2. Sam Draper, well, I'll tell you what, he hasn't had his impact this week as he normally does. 6 kicks he's had in the game, 16 hit-outs, and 4 clearances. Josh Dunkley, though, although he's only had 6 touches, 3 kicks and 3 handballs, he is doing the bullocking hard work. He's had 10 tackles and a clearance, so he's doing really good there. If we head down there, Jezza Jeremy Cameron, right down the bottom there, 2 touches, just handballs. That is it, and hasn't hit the scoreboard, nor has Eric Hipwood there for the Brisbane Lions. Just having a look at some of the team stats. We're about to head back to the game. It's going to be pretty tight here. It's plus 4 disposals overall to the Brisbane Lions. 184, 188. Inside forward 50s. The Cats really got to go on then. They had a monster number going inside. 37 inside forward 50s to the Cats. 21. They're plus 16 at half time. Big numbers, big numbers, big numbers. Free kicks. Well, the umpire's umpiring this game reasonably well. You got to be satisfied. The fans out there today. 8 to 6 free kicks, plus 2 to the home side of the Catters. The Lions winning in the hit-outs. They're plus 10 there, 26-16. The clearances of Catters getting on top, 22-18. And that's 10 to 5 out of the centre. Clearances there, plus 5, doubling Brisbane. Pretty even around the stoppages. Brisbane are just plus 1 there. Contested pretty even there, 78-73. It's the Cats plus 5, plus 2 in the chipping game, which is to Brisbane. We have a look at the marks. Both teams not too far away from each other. 34-43 plus 9 to the Lions in the marks. But marks inside forward 50. Thanks to that second quarter. There we go. Cats 9, 7 to the Brisbane Lions. Just 3 contested marks each. If we go down to the tackle count there, we have a little bit of a look at the tackle count. Good to see Brisbane Lions getting their numbers up. 36 up until half time. 47 is only their season average, which is, I tell you what, I don't know whether any other team's got a tackle count for their season average as low as Brisbane. 27-36, they're plus 9 the Lions, and of course the tackles inside forward 50. 10-7, Brisbane Lions plus 3. Just having a look at the live ladder between these two sides, and of course Brisbane and Geelong. Of course, if Brisbane win, they swap positions with Geelong. They go from 5th to 4th on the ladder, just a half a game out of 3rd. And of course, if the Cats, if they lose this game, they'll drop to 5th, and then they'll be a game behind Brisbane, which is not too good. So a lot to play for in this game tonight for both teams. Of course, if Geelong win, they'll go to 40. They'll go a game clear plus percentage over the Lions. So a lot to play for the Catters right there. And just having a little bit of a sticky beak into the football coming up over the weekend. Don't forget tomorrow night, Friday night football, another big game there. Sydney taking on the Western Bulldogs, and of course a double header Friday night. The other game is West Coast and Adelaide. That's over there at Optus Stadium in Perth. Saturday, we've got some good games Saturday, folks. Hawthorn taking on Melbourne. That's a 1:15 p.m. start. That's down there in Tasmania. GWS Giants taking on the league leaders Fremantle at Gom Stadium. I think that's up there in Canberra. There we go. It's going to be a tough game for the Giants. You'd think Freo would get the job done there. And, of course, another big game Saturday afternoon. We'll cover the second half of this game. Gold Coast Suns, who are out of form, play Collingwood up there at People's First Stadium. So Gold Coast and Collingwood, a big game for both of these sides. Who's going to stay in the top 10? Even being a Collingwood fan, I'm always weary about. I'm always sort of tipping Gold Coast up there, but their form's been out of song, so that's good news for the Pies. And of course, Saturday night, Richmond and Carlton. Of course, Sunday. There's 2 games there to round off this round. What are we in? Round 16, round 17. Hang on, let me go back up here. Round 17. Of course, that's Essendon, St Kilda, Port Adelaide, North Melbourne to round out the games on Sunday. All right, that's enough of me jibber-jabbering. Let's head back to the action. Let me put that back on the summary, get that back right. All right, folks, don't forget to vote who you think's going to win this game. I've got that set up in the live chat if you're in here, Geelong or Brisbane. Anyway, let's get back down to the action for the second half, where it's the Lions by 7 points.
Quarter time, they lead by 7 at half time as we kick off the second half. Draper v Edwards. Edwards wins it down. Neil over the top of the football. Palmed it out to Tunstall. Draper had a fresh airy. Dempsey picks it up. Goes back to Mullen. Fed it further forward to Dangerfield. Dangerfield's long ball inside 50. Bobbles around. Draper. Got it out. Got it away. Neil. Lester. Wilmot. Andrews. And a kick over the top to Berry.
Good to see he's okay. Looked like he had a leg or a foot injury earlier on. Rayner on a half-back flank. Cats have never led in this game. Charlie Cameron kicked a goal in the opening minute. Hipwood got there, crashed it down. Holmes starting to get a few pieces of it, and he gets it back here. The ball started to follow him, which is always a big game changer. Charlie Cameron had him. Ball comes from Mullen's hands to Bruin. Out wide to Dangerfield, who's led from the front. Puts the speed on. Couldn't get away from Tunstall. He got caught, but he got a legal handball away, and Neil inside to Rayner, and the Lions can reset.
Rayner is going to spread it out to Answorth, who takes it comfortably on his chest, and then long and strong towards the pockets in the Hipwood direction. Colin Jasdy puts enough pressure on, and it tumbles out.
So you just need to be a bit stronger there, Eric. A bit more stability in his legs to stand under that ball. It was a great opportunity for him to take a mark inside 50.
Brisbane kicking the first 8 goals of the match from this end of the stadium.
Big thump and back out of place, and we'll repeat the dose. Good crowd in, as you would expect. Cats coming in fourth on the ladder, Brisbane fifth. Edwards and Draper. Draper down to Neil. Neil with the hurried kick. Smith. O'Sullivan had it for a moment. Guthrie tries to hack it off the ground. It's trapped though. And a ball up.
Flying in the air. Good spot for a ball up. Little flick down to Rayner was good. Didn't quite get the kick away that he was after. McKenna. The toe on it. Rolled through for a behind. A little bit of a stalemate early in this one.
Kick to the wing. Good Mark Henry up against Gardner and kept it moving. Two to Manor. Manor with quick play. Long inside 50. Dempsey uses his body and then uses his boot for the first goal of the half.
Oh, this guy's a freak. An absolute freak. He get into the goal square ahead of time. He's a full forward that's playing wing. And he gets there as quick as he can. And in this resurgence, he's been the one. Since they found themselves 43 points down, he's had 12 disposals, which leads all comers. 5 score involvements and a goal. Vossi, he's been significant.
He has been, and when we see this play, it's a signature play from the Cats. Do not go to sleep if you kick a point, because they go out open side and the key players are involved. They kick long to the contest, they win that duel, and then they get out the back, and Dempsey, who lengthens on the opposite side, finds himself in the goal square, and this is where he's dangerous for the Cats.
He's a great athlete, and he's turning it on tonight. Neil turns wrong way. Got caught, got a handball away. Tunstall going to have to play a big role. Up and under from him. Bruin got back to the ball. Magnificent reading of a ball that floated in the tricky conditions. To Edwards. To Holmes. Danced inside on Bailey. Gets it long. The Cats have not led in this game. The spill is huge. Lions under some heat now. Gallop flicks it up. Berry's got a few to beat from the scramble. Back to Gallop. Hammers it away. High ball. Humphreys attacked it. Kept it in front. Kept it rolling. Flicks it out. And we should get a ball up here. We do from the scramble.
Just joining us, Brisbane led by 43 at one stage in the first quarter. Draper only as far as Holmes, who floats one towards the square. Andrews under pressure from Henry and a behind. They're chipping away. It's a 1-point ball game.
In a wild watch. Lions were dominant, kicked the first 8 goals of the game. Neil, who came off for HIA concussion test and passed. Peter Rayner, slick hand movement. Zach Bailey takes him on. He was superb in the opening term. He slips it long. Charlie Cameron off hands, feeds it. Logan Morris. He's got 3. And the Lions have the nerve settler they're after.
Well, Tom Stewart read it beautifully. He gave up the short to protect his own goals, and buy yourself a lotto ticket, because he never makes mistakes. He made an error on that occasion, but the end-to-end has been a definite feature.
And again, it's just that 1 second that you fall asleep. Mullen did it on Zach Bailey and he's gone. It's just the first 2 to 3 steps, and you never recover that gap. You never recover, because he's got such speed and timing for the handball receive. It's just, look at him here. He's just asleep for a beat. What a player, Zach Bailey.
Cats just have to be a little bit careful too with Rayner and his role in this, the start of this third term.
Edwards won it down, only to Will Ashcroft. Dunkley floats it over the top, only to Dempsey. He was hoping for Holmes. Pressure football in the middle of the park. Dempsey off the ground. Then Levi Ashcroft replied in kind. Tumbling ball towards attacking 50. McKenna dumped. Stewart, little probing one. And it's going to be a lasso Brisbane ball.
Stewart coming off, and in the end, O'Connor came on dangerously close to the restricted area. on Will Ashcroft, who gets it long inside 50. Fort got up, ball hit the deck. Huge crumb. Humphrey's got it. Put his heart and soul into it, but turns it over again. Another lasso free and another Will Ashcroft ball.
Played it on Leicester to the pack. Morris at the back. Fell to Hipwood. His handball cut off by Edwards. Guthrie had to be fast. Then it was Atkins. Colin Jasmy's in a real pickle. Then threw Humphreys under the bus. He's grabbed by Morris and a ball up. Fort v Edwards. Fort won it down. Dunkley! They weren't awake to that, the Cats. And Josh Dunkley snuck his second goal of the year in.
Oh, they're so creative from forward 50 stoppages. And I don't know how many times we can talk about them. But the Brisbane Lions, the best in the competition at scoring from forward 50 stoppages. And just look here, no one's on him. Absolutely no one on Dunkley, who roams through the stoppage unopposed, and that. Look, it's elementary. Just have a look at that. It's too late. O'Connor not ready. That's too easy.
Well, he's done all his work in the clinches, tackling machine in the first half, and he's thinking, this doesn't happen to me. I find myself spare at forward 50 stoppages. Normally I'm taking someone.
And his value sort of emphasised by the fact he won the Lions best and fairest last year, so the Lions hierarchy know how important he is, but he wasn't even in the Lions first four in Brownlow voting, so the umpires don't recognise what the coaches do quite often. Tunstall tries to tow it out of the area. Bailey Smith to Edwards, floats it back, top of the goal square, and Gardner, brilliant grab. Should be happy to be out there. Darcy Gardner, given only a year ago that he was in the team and then a late withdrawal due to food poisoning. And then Geary got him down here on the coast. Reveal.
Well, Dwayne, just run me through that. You're not allowed to wrap your arms around a forward, but you can throw him out of the way.
Yeah, well, what Bob Dylan said, what you don't understand, Kingy, I won't try and explain what I don't understand.
That the times are a-changing. Big kick from Answorth. Lions have the numbers at the back. Morris sweeps the handball. Hipwood on his own. Unselfish Rayner. Bang! The times are a-changing. It's back out to 19 points. Brisbane with 3 in a row.
And they've definitely straightened up their attack. I mean, Rayner, Jono put it on the radar about his impact early in this second half. But all of a sudden, the corridors come into play, and they're attacking straighter, inside 50, long balls inside 50, winning those critical contests, find themselves in the goal square. So either take a stoppage or be the fortunate one to be able to score the goal. Obviously, Chris not happy with that contest.
He's a Bob Dylan fan as well. Chris trying to work out. He needs someone to explain it to him as well. But this is a contest. The 2 grand finalists from last year going blow for blow. Bailey Smith, who missed last week, rested or illness, take your pick. Jack Henry got up front of the pack, hits the carpet. Little toe off the deck, didn't work. Blitzarves to Holmes. He might get the skip bounce. Gallup got in the way. Knocked it toward the boundary, and Fletcher, whose dad was a star here for a while, Adrian. Fletcher sees it across the line.
Koning caught at the back. One down by Fort to Gardner. Then Neal. Concussion test in the second term. Skies that one. Hard one to win. Levi Ashcroft Rayner. Round the body, and then Morris just flicked it and just kept it moving for now. O'Connor gathers. Pumps the handball backwards. Atkins, Kolajasny. And along the line to Holmes. So the Cats are building. Into the hole to Koning. Now to Blitzarves from 47. Throws his boot at it. Was just hurried and a behind.
That flick on.
I wonder if they could do with Jeremy Cameron's ball use up the field for 15 minutes or so. It's just, you have to have a kick, just the two handballs.
Yeah, get him into the game at least, even if it doesn't change the game, gets him into it. Tunstall gets on the end of that short pass. The Lions have started this third term as they started the first. The hotter of the two teams. Toward the wing. Little bump by Thorpe. He didn't get away with that. Happy with the free, but advantage made. Humphrey's back. Dempsey flies. Ball bounce is going to be critical. Ollie Henry takes him on. And he tried to don't argue. He got an argument, and then the Lions players start arguing with the umpire, and he says, "Don't argue, I'm tossing it up."
Neil able to contort his body around to win it. Blazing away with it, the Lions. Neil was just nudged as he kicked it. Tumbling ball. Hot football. Collar Jasny. Beat one, beat two. Guthrie in the phone booth was momentarily smothered. Has a second effort. Kick towards Manor, who dropped it. Smith off the ground. Tumbling ball. Picked up by Wiltshire. They grab him. Smith back to Guthrie. Guthrie quickly to Neil. Neil with the check side. Will it float through? No, it won't. Gardner got a fist to it and thumped into the post as well.
Good effort. Jeez, it was really clean from Smith there off the ground. Give the hands up to be able to set up that scoring opportunity.
Down to Staples again to Fletcher, the 1-2 with Wilmot, who continues to run down that Geelong freeway. It's like a rabbit on the freeway, and you know what normally happens to rabbits on the Geelong freeway. It's exactly that. Man, gets it back inside 50 to Wiltshire.
Yeah, he's all right.
So Wiltshire, who had a couple of chances in the second term to have a big impact, but couldn't quite nail them. It's one here to break a run of 3 Lions goals in a row.
Classy finisher.
None of the Ollies in the Cats team. He lets it sail all the way home.
Well, we heard pre-game that this man's gone past Close and a few other small forwards, so they rate him extremely highly. Big runner, very big runner, and will make the most of his opportunities in front of goals, known as a scorer. And obviously Wilmot went a little bit too far there, but it shows the appetite for Brisbane in this second half to be able to go straighter. On their long balls, they're kicking more towards corridor. When they're attacking, they're going straighter. So they're trying to put that Geelong defence under enormous amount of pressure.
Right, we'll boss over our Harvey Norman replay there. Wiltshire 1 goal to 11 touches so far tonight. 11 points the margin. Back in the middle, Dunkley throws it on the boot towards Bailey, deflects back to Smith. Atkins, Stewart's just delayed the hand pass. That was clever. Bruin props it up in the air, hoping for Wiltshire, spoilt by Wilmot, and a throw in.
So win or loss in this one could be the difference between being top 4 or not. Cats have come into tonight 4th, Brisbane 5th. Lions will take the Cats spot inside the top 4, given both teams are 9 wins, 6 losses at the moment. With this one still in dispute, McKenna missed his hand. Tunstall goes back in, tackle immediately by the tackle machine in Tom Atkins. And we'll see Max Holmes, their running machine, getting some work as well.
Over to Fletcher. Fletcher inside attacking 50. Cameron's wrestling, bouncing ball. Play on was the call. Collar Jasny retreats. Dempsey. O'Connor in a situation. Kept his composure well. Humphreys pops it outside defensive 50 to a 2-on-2. A flyer was Wilmot. Found a little bit of air. Wanted to push. Nothing doing, and a throw in. Gripping game of footy on a Thursday night. Down to Levi Ashcroft. Hurried ball, just bundles inside 50. No mark from Stewart. Fell to O'Connor. They grab him. Holding the football. McKenna gets a free kick and a shot at goal.
It's lucky not to get a 50 there.
Yeah, throwing
Handballing the ball away.
Yeah, Humphrey, I think it was.
I think Chris Scott's heading down to the boundary line to coach.
I think like he'd be just taking a spell at the back of the box.
Is that what you do, Vossi, in a situation like this normally?
I think this is the time he's going to go to the back of the box and just take a breath and
To remove all ornaments at this stage.
All right, I'm convinced that phone's working anymore.
Conor McKenna. From about 47. It's swinging around and it's going to sneak in. He looks back at some of the negative enforcement he was getting from the crowds on the other side of the fence. And that blazes it out to 17 points.
Well, he's done a pretty good job, Vossi. He's had the 12 disposals, 6 of those have become scores. He started with a blaze of glory, 1 goal, 1, and largely has been responsible for Tom Stewart. Now,
take all those little wins, Key.
Yeah.
All those little wins when you have that matchup. To be able to hit the scoreboard like what he has, you have to show some humility that you're going to lose some contests. And he obviously a great finish there. But when you get matchups like this, it's all in the small wins. See, Chris didn't like that small win.
It's his phone here at the Cattery. I'm sure they'll look after him with another from the ball up. Kicked off the deck, inside 50. Stewart had a chance. Guthrie with a chance. They're riding their luck. Zach Bailey with a bit of Bailey's cream on a cold night at the Cattery. He's been a star tonight. He's got 3.
It just happens so quickly with Zach Bailey. And I feel like every highlight we've shown of Zach tonight's on replay. It's the same event. As soon as you leave Zach Bailey, he will get forward. It will be a viable option. So the ball just comes out of the middle, surge kick forward, nothing really brilliant here, but he's already forward of his man. See that Geelong mid's trailing, he's already goal side in that forward 50 drop zone.
Yeah, I won't like that edit.
Big moments for the Lions. 16 touches, 3 goals. For Zach Bailey. Edwards wins it. Atkins, Edwards, Mullen. Clever tap under pressure to Smith. Lifts the eyes, spreads it out to Henry. Henry with the handball to Henry. Ollie Henry in a tight spot to the top of the square. Dangerfield, Martin, they can raffle Lurtz. Martin, can he pick it up? Dangerfield's trying to scoop it up too. Wiltshire around the corner. It's going to float up into the air. It's still in play. Henry's claiming the mark. It's play on. He's claiming he hasn't heard the call. So the umpire will ball it up.
You can get your own tape measure out. From the ball up, knocked down. Draper hammers it away. Humphrey's got up. Dunkley stood his ground. Dempsey, Smith to Dangerfield in the hole. Well, he got smashed on the way down, but he took the Sharon anyway. Found a bit set on the most difficult of angles, but this guy has got a deep bag of tricks when it comes to goal kicking. It's a big moment.
He's just turned up at the right moments, hasn't he?
Just the right his career or tonight, you're talking?
Well, his career, but certainly tonight.
We'll play game 400 next year, Patrick Dangerfield. Opens up the angle and goes bang. He's got 3 and we've got a contest. Don't go anywhere. I hope you're enjoying it on Fox Footy as much as we're enjoying bringing it to you. Here's Michael Voss and David King.
Well, you're right, Vossi. He was the one that got them going at the end of the first term. They desperately needed a goal and all looked lost. It's just his sheer physicality here to get his positioning back. Have a look at him having to fight for the drop zone of this footy up against Ainsworth. Let's have a look at this ball come in. And he just wants it more. Look at him, bang, spin, gone. And then strong enough to hold on to that at full stretch. He's having a night. 3 goals, 2. Boy, do they need him to go on and kick 6.
7 goals kicked in this quarter. Brisbane 4 goals to 3. Fisted forward for the Cats. Crashing in was Dunkley. Errant handball grabbed by Atkins. Dunkley grabs him, fighting hard. Spills out. Levi Ashcroft just kicks it to space. Foot races on. Tumbling ball. McKenna over the top. Gets a push in the backs against the free kick. And plays on. Kicks inside 50. Morris in from the side. Just couldn't quite get there in time. And a throw in.
Crowd don't agree that was in the back. Just confirming with the umpire that you're allowed to push in the side, but we're going to get a look at it here. Was there a hand on the number? Yep, there was a hand on the 6. And I reckon that's indication enough for the AFL umpires to check that off. O'Connor, Atkins, straight to Wilmot. Back pedals to silence and launches it. Can they get a leaper at it? Draper's down there, middle of the pack. Off his hands. Now they need a crummer. Tunstall was slick. Got it to Levi. He got it to Dunkley. Squeezed it to Loman. Right spot, right time again for Kai. Speaking of guys who tend to bob up when most needed. Some of his very best games have been on the biggest stage possible. Finals for Kai is when he tends to stand up and against the big teams as well. 2-time premiership hero. Can punch this back out to 23 points. Never in doubt. Arms out wide. Kyle Oman, the showman, does it again.
It was a terrific handball from Tunstall to just bring the ball from traffic to the outside, in to out. It's one of the greatest skills we're seeing in our game at the moment. You see ball bobbling here, bang. Quick to Ashcroft, just gets the ball to the outside. It's a hack play in the end, a little bit fortuitous, but I love the work from Tunstall to just get that ball quickly in and out of his hands. Six goals for the quarter again to the Brisbane Lions.
It's extraordinary scoring, really. We're looking at 97 to 74. We're still a long way to go in the third quarter.
Immaculate from set shots tonight too. As Atkins breaks free in the middle. Radars one towards Dangerfield.
49, 1 metre back, 1 metre back, 1 metre back, another half set, stand there.
It's about 5 Cats players on the lead. No use doing that with this man with the ball in his hands at 55.
1 metre that way.
Well, when you're on fire, you just go back. So I've got this. See you back at the centre square bounce.
He's appeared in the big moments and lifted his team tonight. Can he do it again? He's going to set it right up at the square. It's going to float over. He is providing the big moments for the Cats. A big fall for Danger.
Well, the chest is fully out, Kingy. And he is certainly turning it on. And every time when the question's been asked of the Cats, it's been Dangerfield who's been able to turn up in these moments.
Well, they're scoring okay. There's not a problem at that end for the Cats. It's a problem at the other end.
The inside 50 is good.
Yeah, the volume's there, but 15 goals from 31 entries to Brisbane at the other end. I can't recall a Cats back 6 that's given up that sort of strike rate, that sort of goal rate. But you're right, they've got a winner in the forward line, so what you do with Cameron's important. That matchup's working for them with Dangerfield on the next level of player. So that's clearly why they're holding Jeremy forward.
Fly in the air, Edwards Draper, go up again. Atkins didn't quite have it, had a little bit of ball, a little bit of Rayner. Did the tackle machine. Will Ashcroft, crowd screaming for ball. Atkins ferrets in there, flings it. Jeremy Cameron with the knock on, got it to the blitz, feeds it to Danger, missed him. Wilmot stood in the hole, chips it wide. Rayner, Danger averted. Rayner to the booze, heads out wide. McKenna's been brilliant, takes off, run down, pressure on the kick. Lyman! Wouldn't quite. That's a brilliant grab. This guy's got to be a contender. Conroy Sullivan for all Australia. He's having a season to behold, and he's only in game 42.
That dead set below his years. De Koning, Holmes. Down the line to a 2-on-2. Dempsey with Samir. Spilled to the side. Neil stayed to the ground. Kicked it towards Hipwood, who dropped it. O'Sullivan put enough pressure on Reville to Will Ashcroft. And then a little chip to Cameron. He loves those, Charlie, just on a platter. Complicated kick. Stick 2, 6 touches.
You're going to come in. Thank you. Stand, please. Thanks, Sam.
8 straight from set shots they've kicked.
Charlie Cameron just outside the field of play, and that just registers a behind.
Difficult pocket by Kingy there as the away team. That's the dim sim smell gets you when you're up against the boundary in that pocket.
It's hard to order and kick at the same time.
Tom Stewart heads out wide. Up flies Neil. Been magnificent tonight as well. Gives it up to O'Connor. Bends it towards Dangerfield, middle of the ground. Huge ball won by Fletcher to Levi Ashcroft to Gardner, going back to go forward. Harris Andrews, little hesitation step. Found Berry, delivers it long. Charlie Cameron with a couple of beat. Edged out Guthrie, got the crumb, flicked the handball over his head, didn't quite hit his target. Ball in dispute, Neil went off the carpet, didn't work. 2 Neils out there, of course. A pair of Neils, a pair of Camerons, and a pair of Henrys if you just joined us. Ball flicked up towards Wilmot. He got a little kick away, straight to Hipwood, who takes the mark, middle of the ground.
Calls for reinforcements, and then skies one of the forwards, and Lohman. He can go back directly in front and look for 4.
There you go out. On his line, David. Kai, Lohman, 3 metres. 2 more metres, Kai. Take him out, please. Thank you. Max, stay with Zach. You can stay with it. Charlie, 10
Geelong haven't conceded 100 points in the first 3 quarters at this stadium for 23 years. It's about to change as Lohman slams it through.
And they're doing it on the back of their efficiency inside 50.
Yeah.
When you look at 34 inside 50s and we're looking at 24 shots on goal.
16 goals. Yeah, it would be Geelong's worst on record. 46% was their worst. This is slightly higher than that. So this is uncharted territory down back for the Cats. They're normally so organised and so efficient and roll off and help one another. They just look out of sorts. And I think whenever their main man is slightly off, Tom Stewart, just the 6 intercepts tonight, whenever he's not at the top of his game, they can look a bit like this, but not to this level.
I mentioned 26 years since it happened. Almost takes us back to the Blighty years where the Cats would concede 20 but kick 22. That was Blighty's game plan. Dangerfield lays the tackle and Leicester's over it. The umpire cuts him some slack. Dangerfield kindly asked the question. Draper, Edwards a secondary swipe at it to Gallop. Got there first, but now he's in a spot of bother again. Dangerfield jumps on him again. And the umpire says, I'll have it again.
Rucks.
Draper goes himself off a step back into the middle. No mark O'Sullivan, but a free kick is going to be paid around the shoulder from Hipwood. O'Sullivan. Bruin in the middle of the park, inside 50. Edwards, no mark. Gallop wins it. Flicks the handball out. Holmes was the first one there. Sends it back inside. It's wide and out.
Jeremy Cameron's had a lean night at the office. One of their all-time greats. Game 295 for Jezza. Since that arm injury hasn't quite been the same. Draper tries to take it out of the ruck. Dangerfield tried to take it on the run. Draper got a kick away. They've congested it. Even Loman's down inside defensive 50. Hacked off the deck. There's no one in the Lions forward half. O'Connor, O'Sullivan, O'Bother. They're in a spot here now, the Cats. Hacked off the deck. Stewart saves the day. O'Sullivan, little fumble. And now Loman gets it. He's got Zach Bailey free. He fumbles. Time enough to pick it up and go. Short pass is superb. And McKenna can almost have the last say of the quarter. Lions kicked the first 8 goals of this game. Broke out to a 43-point margin. The Cats cut it all the way back to 2 points. But in the shadows of three-quarter time, the Lions can punch it back to 30 in this bizarre seesawing contest between last year's grand finalists. McKenna dumps it. Oh, distance, not a worry. Accuracy, not a worry for the Irishman. He's got 2, and the Cats have a mountain to climb in the last quarter.
That is a finish, Vossi.
Oh, no one has missed from that spot the whole night, but it speaks to what Brisbane were able to make their adjustments at half-time. There's no doubt there was a clear instruction to be able to keep more 6 forwards ahead of the ball with a little bit more length, play straighter, play through the corridor. And they've been able to find that pockets of space to be able to then attack their inside 50. And at times we're finding Brisbane outnumbering the Geelong defenders in their forward 50. So it'll be something I'll have to go to work at three-quarter time to be able to turn this momentum around. 110 points, though, that's a massive score.
Big quarter for the Lions. Smith grabbed by Draper. Scooped it out to Holmes. Holmes raking ball, and then the fly. Wilmots. Outstanding stuff to Levi Ashcroft.
There's the confidence. 40 from your own goal to sit on a head.
And 20 seconds left in the quarter too. Can you mind?
We sat on the head for 10.
It's
Flared out to young Gallup. Such an enthusiastic team, even though we know how good they are and established the Lions. They've got some very, very zestful youth. It's a 30-point game all of a sudden. After it was back to 7 at half-time. What a quarter for Brisbane. And we've got a big post-game show coming up. Still plenty to play for in the next half an hour, but we've got the post-game player interviews and also the press conferences. So much still to come on Thursday night. Spectacular night of footy at GMHBA. Coming in, Geelong 4th on the ladder, Brisbane 5th on the ladder, and what a start it was. Charlie Cameron with the first goal, and then make that the second goal. That was in the first 1 minute of play here on a Thursday night. He was involved again here. That little bunting kick to Zach Bailey, who got involved very early on in proceedings as well. They were very, very busy early. Zach Bailey has these for breakfast. Crumbs off the pack and then speared it through for a goal. This man, Patrick Dangerfield, had to try and lift his team. This was brilliant round the corner in the second quarter. Brisbane led by 37 at quarter time. Geelong were able to ease that margin back. There was concerns for Lachie Neale. Some friendly fire. He got a knee from Cam Rayner. He had HIA. He got back out there before half-time. Patrick Dangerfield's done everything. Goal scoring, tackling, and he's brought Geelong back into it. But in the third, Logan Morris started to show his wares as well as Brisbane tried to extend that margin after it was Brisbane by 7 at half-time. McKenna was starting to get into the action as well with two magnificent finishes from the same spot, and Coach Scott needs a new phone. He was not a happy man. Patrick Dangerfield single-handedly trying to lift his team, crashing in there with that mark. He eventually kicked a goal from 50 metres out to try and lift the squad. Kai Lohmann's kicked 4 of his own. He got involved in the third term. And then what about the confidence from Wilmot with a big mark there towards three-quarter time? Brisbane extending the lead out to 30 points at three-quarter time. There's still plenty of life left in this as we head to the ground, and Brad Johnson.
Well, Hilly, 28 goals have been kicked in this game. 6 to the players' stand, 22 to the Joel Selwood stand. It's been unbelievable because the conditions at ground level are absolutely perfect. No wind to speak of at all. So that leads to the Cats because they're heading to the Joel Selwood stand in this last term. It is game alive. Don't worry about that. Second term, they kick 6 goals to 1. It starts in the midfield. They've got to get their stars in there, get some goals from centre bounce, give their forwards a chance in the first 5 to 6 minutes of this last term.
Well, we haven't seen Geelong put to the sword like this by an opposition for a long, long time. Three-quarter time score of 110 points for the Brisbane Lions, the most for 25 years. Such is the power of the Lions. I think you've got to celebrate Brisbane and what they're doing. Winning contest in their forward 50 when they're normally outnumbered back there. They've been brilliant. And at forward 50 stoppage, have sent a shockwave or two to the competition again tonight. If you weren't worried before tonight, be very afraid now.
The Lions are roaring after wins against the Swans, the Tigers and the Suns. Leading in, looking for 4 on the bounce. Round 17 action, they lead by 5 goals into the last term. Bailey over the top, was able to scrounge it out. Draper picks it up. Smith grabs him and a ball up.
Cameron's just wheeling around the back. Kingy just getting a little bit more involved in the play.
Holmes bangs it on the boot. Got it as high as he got it long. Bouncing ball. Stayed in play. Needs to be touched by Cat before it goes out. Neale kept it alive and rolls it along the boundary line inside 50. So rather than a lasso free, it's a ball in a dangerous spot. Chris Fagan coaching from the bench and talk to his players directly. Chris Scott coaching from the coach's box using 2 pitch cans and a long piece of string to talk to the bench after smashing the phone in that third term. Draper with a slap down, got his own work. Atkins through the traffic. Kick smothered. Neale, Rayner. Ball hits the deck. Answorth couldn't squeeze it away. Mullen, it floats. That's the best looking mongrel you'll ever see.
Sometimes the doozer is a good ball, Vossi.
Doesn't matter how they
it doesn't. It's they just need to find a way, don't they? Just as ugly as that was, it is beautiful. The Irishmen, they just have a funny knack of getting that to work. They're working hard here, the Cats, scrounging hard. Back to 24 points.
Off the ball, Kingy, we saw Cameron go behind the play. Could be a couple of reasons to do that. Empty out the forward line a little bit, maybe give another number behind the ball so Brisbane don't score as efficiently, but of course to try and get the ball in his hands. Could be the third, but it'll be an interesting watch throughout this quarter to see where he ends up.
Still yet to have a kick Tonight, Jeremy Cameron's the 2 handballs.
Draper belts it down. Smith, Collett got rid of it. Holmes, Edwards, O'Connor, Holmes spreads it wide to Blitzarves in the front spot. Blitz has it. O'Connor, he goes and is forced to kick it quickly and straight to Answorth, who has it for the Lions.
To the wing. Morris, a little thick on, was good. Bruce picks it up. Chip kick outside of the boot. Stewart has had a tough night at the office in his return game from concussion. Missed last year's grand final with concussion as well, so that's a couple in a short space of time, and he did miss a couple of weeks with that injury, so maybe a little rusty, and we'll get a ball in.
Lucky there, the Cats, though, on that entry. If that ball had a little bit more lift in it, you had 2 Brisbane players walking goal.
Draper, loving his new lease of life as a Lion. Bats down to Smith, off a step, Dangerfield. Terrific performance tonight. Kicks further afield, Neil with a bit of push and shove. Fell to Fletcher with the hack kick, worked to Bailey to Neil, and now Rayner in some space. Looks dangerous. Lions surge forward. Rayner fakes and then goes short to Will Ashcroft. Had Fletcher on the overlap, ignores that, goes up the spine. Bailey couldn't complete the deal. O'Sullivan just throws it on the boot with a high one. Andrews at the back.
Great wall of Andrews again. The gatekeeper back there. Probably the best fullback in the comp.
15.
Flips it to Gallup. So from the old to the new, Gardner, a local, back home, grew up Geelong on the Surf Coast, went to school here. Sends it long inside 50, missed his target. So the blitz. Time is of the essence now for the Cats. Need to make it all count now. Every possession worth a little bit more. The greatest number 46 the game's ever seen. Most games ever in that number. Goes out wide, off hands. Lockie Neal traps it. Gave it to Rayner. They could land a big blow here. The Lions. Long goal square. McKenna, O'Sullivan with some protection from Stewart. Takes the mark. 50-50, yeah.
You think the Cats will hunt corridor here when they get to this sort of position on the scoreboard? That they will challenge. You can see them circling and milling in the middle. They'll go out to come back in. Holmes it is.
There it is. Humphreys, kick has to be accurate towards Holmes. Morris put pressure on, but crudely. So advantage paid. Connor to Manor, who zeroes in inside 50, but Gallup was strong. Goes short. Mark to Fletcher.
I think that special comment from you, King, probably tells the story better than anything else can. That was a superb mark by Gallup. Fletcher arched his back, goes out wide to Berry. Plays on, chips it, and Holmes starting to get a bit of it now. Again for the Cats. 24 points in a night where we're going to get 30-plus goals. So 4 goals required. Plenty of time for that. O'Sullivan, the fake. Atkins. Bailey Smith's going to need to get a bit of it in the closing stages. Heads long. Ollie Henry, Jack Henry. Look at each other. The 2 brothers spoil each other as if it was the backyard. And look at each other to curse. Mum's going to have to sort that one out tonight. Dunkley's got it.
To Will Ashcroft. Will Ashcroft towards Morris. Couldn't quite. McKenna on the side. And eventually forages it out. It's going to be a lasso.
Big switch is on.
And that goes to Stewart, who's got a man all on his own in Ollie Henry. Game 100. Chip over the top. Is it going to sit up for Mullen? He made sure it did. Neil's there to help him as well. Pats it to Neil. Then he goes towards the top of the square. Wiltshire couldn't quite. He was able to gather. And then he was running laterally. He had the momentum against him and threw for a behind.
They are getting him with that corridor ball. The aggressive ball from the Cats is working. Centre back, wing area. Got to be aware, Brisbane, that they're going to throw caution to the breeze here.
Cats have not led all night. Lions have led from the outset by as much as 43. Fletcher arches his back and goes long again. Same old, same old. Blitzards gets up there. Kolajasny heads down and will get a ball in. Brisbane Lions, back-to-back premiers, the reigning premiers, come into this having on their past 3 games in a row, back in some form. They've shown tonight going to be tough to beat in September, but the higher the finish, the more chances they've got of a third.
Neil, quick work to reveal who tumbles it out. Kolajasny wants it quickly. 11 touches for Kolajasny. Kicks to the congestion. At the back, Leicester. Felder Martin out to Mullen. Quick work towards Cameron. Spall was good. Then deflects to Dunkley off a step. Into the middle of the ground. Hot footballer win here. McKenna. Handball towards Rayner. And then in over the top was Atkins. And a ball up.
Patrick Dangerfield having a rest. Another of their running machines. Ollie Dempsey having a rest as well. Ball flung in the air. Feels like the next goal is going to be critical. Mullen bangs it inside 50, but again, Cameron led in the race for it. In fact, it's allowed to roll out by Jack Henry. Cameron peeled back to the goal square. So a ball in. Cats 4 goals from the lead. 14 minutes left. And a little bit of a chant rings around GMHBA Stadium. The fans know, the Lions know this one's not dead yet. Sam DeConing with the knock to the front. And Reville content to see that roll out. And 4 more seconds roll off the clock.
Cat supporters know there's plenty of time. 13 minutes 45. Thornton to Cunning, got it down. Martin with the crumbs, he runs into a wall. Tried to get it to Henry, and then the great wall of Andrews stomped in.
It's a great tackle from Gallup. At speed, Martin on the fly.
Cats pressing to Koning. Down he goes, Manor. Round the corner, it needs a vicious break, almost.
Jasper Fletcher again for the kick in. 23 games for the Cats. His dad played. 79 for Fremantle. 86 for the Bears. 21 for the Lions. And a good pick up as a father-son, Jasper Fletcher. Fort on the wing. Stewart in front. Didn't hold what he normally does hold. Humphreys inside kick is dangerous. Cut off by Levi. Little flick on from Charlie. A little too clever maybe. Was that taking of the legs? Yes, it was.
There is some claret pouring from his eyes as well. To Levi Ashcroft, keeps it low to Neil. Hipwood says go for home. Neil backpedals. Lifts the eyes, chip, Berry in the spot.
Great kick. Great kick. Man of experience. Been in that position 1,000 times, just assess that. And Hipwood was on the same page as Berry. Just have a look at this for just craft, just knowing what's in front of you, what's unfolding. That's a great little drop at the bucket kick.
Jared Berry, the boy from Horsham, 10th year at Brisbane. Played in the 24 flag, but missed the grand final last year through injury. Such an important kick here. And he floats it through for a miss.
Nice. Almost feels like a goal for the Cats. There's a little bit of life. Cats fans enjoyed it. Blitzards comes down. He knows they are still alive, as Michael Voss told you. Cut off though brilliantly by Will Ashcroft, and he holds it up. Time on their side to Fletcher, who holds it up. Tick, tick, tick. More seconds off the clock, and the umpire tells him to move it on. Hipwood's the guy in the hole, can't mark it. Sport to a dangerous spot. Cut off the deck by Wiltshire. He got 40 on it. Jeremy Cameron, first kick for the night. Outside of the boot kick to Martin. Rolled in the tackle. And we'll get a ball up as I see Gardner looks like he's cramping or he's done a hamstring. Is that a hamstring?
Looks that way.
Fell to Will Ashcroft in the Hipwood direction. Kolajasny.
Gardner's staying on, so it's 17 on AM at the moment.
Yeah. Wait till Jeremy finds out.
Getting urgent for the Cats.
It's going his way. He's on the outer wing.
O'Connor to Kolajasny. Thought about corridor.
Yeah, no, he's certainly hobbling.
Lex to go round the world, but the kick didn't get to Humphreys. Was cut off by Rayner and out.
He's coming from the field now. Oh, yeah, it's a good one. Such a shame this stage of the year. Those players of that importance.
Fort goes himself from the ruck, tumbles it inside. Hipwood to Lohman, flicks the handball out towards Bailey, cut off by Humphreys.
Oh, dude, tuck it out of your hands. Darcy, Sam.
Now put Berry behind the ball, rotating from forward to defence. Now to take up that role, Leicester coming onto the ground.
Thanks, Jono. Bittersweet pitches for Lions fans. They're a man down, but score-wise, they're up. And they're almost there. McKenna, Bruin, dragged down by Will Ashcroft. 23 points to margin.
This is why they're the best forward 50 stoppage team in the comp. Look at the move.
Stewart bundles it outside defensive 50. It's set up well for Wiltshire. His wobbly kick wasn't convincing. Wilmot comes up with it. Approaching the 10-minute mark. Short to Reville. There's certainly enough Lion supporters here for the call of Bruce round the stadium towards the pockets. No mark from Hipwood. Grabbed by Bailey. Dodges, weaves and darts. Got it to Will Ashcroft. He was grabbed by Bruin.
Part of managing the scoreboard all the time. It's being able to get repeat inside 50 stoppages.
Flying in the air, Fort. Got it down, but Humphreys read it off his palm, right it towards Martin. Wilmot's been superb. Had a light week at the office last week, but has been magnificent tonight. This one goes to the boundary for another ball in.
See Cameron going to centre half back. You feel like he's the important one for the Cats on the fly, getting forward.
Still a few Cats enjoying it, despite the scoreline, and a few Lions as well.
Koning palmed at depth, then tumbles it. Blitzar's in the front spot against Lohman. Blitzar's being held by Lohman.
Stand, clear out. Go with him, Levi.
Heard the instructions. Blitzar's to Stewart, who gives it everything. Galloped with maturity.
He's improving every week, this guy.
Few contenders for the Rising Star this year, and he's one of them. Rayner got up there. Lohman again. Pounced, kicked, goal. And that could be some goal for the Lions in their charge for top four. And the three-peat. 29 points to margin. 9 minutes left.
Just been super impressive. Certainly in the last quarter, they haven't been moving the ball off the line. They haven't had to. They've just been able to get territory, get set up behind the ball, get repeat entry, get repeat forward 50 stoppages, keep Geelong under pressure. And eventually, their threats will score. And he's obviously had a really important night tonight.
Right in time.
Big four of the grand final in 2024. A big five tonight.
Push behind, guys.
Edwards wins it down. Off the ground from Reveal. Bailey controlled it. Just couldn't quite gather it with the hand. Lohman. Stolen by O'Sullivan to Edwards. Now to Smith. Working it through the corridor. Humphreys to Bruin. Urgent now for the Cats. Ball towards Dangerfield at the front. Off hands. Wilmot gathers. Neil bearing down on him. Wilmot round the corner over the head of Wiltshire. And then it was Bruin who tapped it. Hack kick off the ground. Martin at the back. Falls again to Wilmot. And they're going to clear here the Lions. Answorth, Wilmot. Just looped the handball for a little bit too long to Levi Ashcroft. And he's happy to just saunter it out.
Rux, Sam, Mitch.
A rainy afternoon. Rain's been tumbling down for a couple of days, but stayed away for the big contest tonight. The Lions have loved it. Draper outside of the boot. Logan Morris too good, having another great night. Turns and goes. They could land the knockout blow here. Hit put inside 50. Thumped away. Hits the deck. Cam Rayner from 48 outside of the boot. Lohman, Tunstall. Lohman back with the flight of Connor. Solid grab. Last line of defence.
Clyde might be sitting there. I had 6 in the taking, man.
Yeah.
Just missed me.
Martin hesitates. Short. Dempsey. Dempsey. Long ball. Draper over the back. Edwards takes it to ground. Gallup got him high. Edwards plays on quickly. On the overlap, Bruin. Looking for a forward, can't find one. Matter caught at the back and picked off by Leicester doing things that Leicester does.
Well, hopefully Gardner hasn't hurt himself, because the addition of having Gardner, Leicester, Gallup and also Andrews back there, they have been taller, which you think would impact their ball movement, but they've been so stable behind the ball, being able to generate intercept marks and obviously put the opposition in, or put themselves in stronger positions.
Time wasting. That's time wasting. That is a little bit silly. That it was out on the fall. He thumped into the grandstand. He's having a laugh about it now, but I don't want to open up any doors right now, Logan.
Well, they've made 25 spoils in their defensive 50. That's a huge number. It's been in there 65 times.
And that can be as much the height, Kingy.
Yeah.
A little bit extra height down there to be able to clear the ball. No soft drops. Clear the ball from the area.
Only ever kicked one goal, Connor O'Sullivan.
I think it's a really good point. I think you have to give some credit to the development of Gallup, who was thrown back. Started as a forward, thrown back, and has just taken to that role like a duck to water.
Dan, play on, play on, play on.
Harris Andrews has played his part again. Across the face of goal to Answorth. Pops it outside deep 50. Draper went in, cleared the pack, foot race on. Most of them overrun it. Edwards held his ground, then turned the handball over. Reveal. O'Connor with the volleyball work, eventually out to Smith. Smith's kick down the corridor, hits Dangerfield. Has to go back quickly, less than 6 to play. He's had a good night.
Yeah, without this bloke tonight, he's been extremely impressive.
I think Jeremy Cameron's a big talking point in the post-match. I mean, just how bad is his arm and how restrictive is it? Because he has been unsighted tonight. What does it mean the last 8 weeks of the season?
Dangerfield from just outside 50. Launches. He's kicked 5. There's just that little bit of life.
You're right though, Kingy. 3 possessions for Jeremy Cameron for the night. His only kick was a little toe poke off the deck. And there has been talk about whether the arm is still bothering him and whether he gets a knock on the arm and doesn't have the full feeling in the fingers. And how much that affects your confidence, let alone your ball drop and your ability to mark in the air.
Yeah, they've only kicked the ball to him 4 times for the night as a target going inside 50. Now, I understand that's Shannon Neal's role. He's been targeted 7 times, Paddy Dangerfield 4, Jack Henry the 6, but he's your trump card, Jeremy Cameron. They're a different outfit if he's not up and firing.
Yeah, he's kicked 775 goals.
Yeah.
He plays 300th in a few weeks, Jezza. So he's a big part of what they do. So's this guy, Holmes. Time is still alive. Bounced a couple of times, sends it long inside 50 off Jeremy Cameron's arm. A second knockdown. Wilmot around his body. Edwards a little slip, stood under it. Ball flings to the back. Bruin, he went low and he milked the high from McKenna.
Well, Jeremy went one-handed at that last marking contest. We'll show it in a moment.
Geelong need a mark desperately. Cameron's at the back. Neal was in the middle. Dangerfield gathered. Then he just spooned it out. Kick off the ground to Levi Ashcroft and Neal. And the Lions will get out of it to McKenna.
Stand there.
Happy to take a breather and milk it for all it's worth. Short to Neal.
He's been good, McKenna, in that role tonight on Stewart.
Neal heads towards forward 50. Draper's there, one of the tallest men on the ground. Pummeled back by hand to Stewart. Goes in towards the middle of the ground, trying to create an opportunity for the Cats. Wilmot with the gather though. Then he goes long. Cameron's there. O'Sullivan with the fist initially, up and under. Morris, the gather was fantastic. Centering handball. Gives the Lions still a chance. Hipwood gets it back towards Cameron, who fumbled. Still the loose ball. Cameron tries to toe poke it. To ground it goes. Cat still under pressure. Will Ashcroft tried to snaffle it. Then it was Zach Guthrie. Back to Stewart. And then Stewart's going to clear it through Bruin.
4 goals, 3.5 minutes. You can do the math. Manna to the running machine. Holmes heads long. He's got Cameron this time. Takes the chest mark. Dempsey's the one in the pocket, and that's a magnificent kick. He's one of the best field kicks in the competition, Jeremy Cameron. And this kick to keep the Cats alive.
Got to go quickly.
Hamstring issue there for Zach Bailey.
You don't like where he's pointing.
Yeah. It's a bender, it's low, and it's there by a millimetre. Don't search for your car keys just yet and head home. 2:46 left, 16-point game in what's been an unbelievable contest.
Have a look here. Cameron just goes with the one arm. That right arm he cannot put into a contest at the moment. That is a huge talking point for the back third of this season, but they find a way, and again it's Holmes on the fly. Dempsey's been huge tonight. He's had a really strong evening. 22 disposals, 8 score involvements, and a couple of goals. 2:47 on the clock, 3 goals required. Anything can happen with 666.
Don't touch the dial. Thursday night footy. Fort won it down only to Holmes, who pummels it by boot. Wiltshire couldn't trap it. Reville was able to gather easily and has a bounce to the logo and then sprays it wide. How's the umpire going to see that? Touched and a throw in. Natives don't like that.
Rocks. Darcy, Geelong Rock.
2:32, edge of the seat stuff. And if you joined us late, the Cats have not led in this game. And at one stage they were 43 down. Ball knocked to the front. Lockie Neal, he had the HIA concussion assessment and won. Now that's off the boot of Mullen. That's a lasso free kick. Yeah, you might not like the rule, but that is the rule. They have to play it until they change it. Back to Leicester.
Into his legs.
10 more seconds to get.
Oh, it just...
Kick down, written and spoken by Michael Voss, that editorial.
I can't make sense of that.
I'll sign your petition, Voss.
Will Ashcroft along the wing. Rayner flying for everything. Morris gathers and happy to walk it over.
Well, Swanee's your old boss. Bossy, you can chat to him.
Darcy.
Be more than a chat. But if you're thinking about Geelong and what they need to be able to do here, obviously trying to thin out the stoppage as best you possibly can. Draw the numbers away from the contest, separate the forwards to be able to give them the best chance to be able to run at the game.
Ford to Rayner, threads through the traffic, sprays it to the pocket and out of play.
The scoring power of the Lions is going to be the talking point. Their last month of football, huge scores and huge victories, really. The authority in which they're winning is hard to undersell.
And the spread of goal kickers too. Key.
Lions chant ringing around GMHBA Stadium. Holmes tried to scramble it away. Berry to bend it and to finish it across the face. Logan Morris can't trap it. And we'll get a ball in and we're down to 1:31. And the Cats need the miracle to beat all miracles to beat the back-to-back reigning premier.
What an entertaining night we've had. It's been topsy-turvy stuff. Blitzarves tries to bat it forward. Neal on it, then Lohman read the tackle. And then Rayner out to Cameron. He wants a free kick. It's not going to happen.
Go through, go through.
Geelong looking down the barrel of losing 4 of their last 5. It'll be 4 wins in a row for the Lions as Rayner scoops it out. Fletcher couldn't quite grab it. Smith off the ground, spilled back to Fletcher. Hurried ball and out of bounds on the full. Is it? Might have been touched. That's a throw in.
Darcy,
1 minute and 3 seconds, and that look from Chris Scott says 1,000 words. Back into play. The team that beat them in the grand final last year has come to town and broken this 10-win run the Cats had going on here at GMHBA. Tough team to beat here, but the Lions at the moment are going to be one of the teams to beat for the rest of the season. Fletcher goes back and gets it. This will be 4 wins in a row for the Brisbane Lions. And they had to stop the Geelong charge twice. Came here, got the momentum early, opened up a 43-point margin. Cats got it back to 2, and the Lions demolished them again from there.
What a difference 7 weeks makes after it was a 41-point victory by Geelong back in round number 10 as Rayner shows the crowd the ball. A little bit of lair rising. Lions fans love it as Rayner kicks inside 50. Will they get a mark? Lohman in from the back. Do they get a mark? The towering man of Fort has taken it and will kick on the siren.
10 metres.
And Rayner's loving every single minute of it. 4 wins on the bounce for the Lions. Their roar is just starting to get louder in 2026. Will there be a bit of icing on the cake as Darcy Forge has a shot from approximately 40 metres out? Darcy Fort for his 7th goal this year. It's icing on the cake. It's been a powerful statement. Here come the Lions. At the final shot.
with Josh Dunkley, one of the leaders here at the Lions, one of their best players tonight as well. That's a win.
Yeah, it's a very important one, mate. You know, like we started our year a bit up and down and had some losses that we probably could have won at times, but special for this group to respond after the bye against Sydney and Geelong now. But, you know, now it's all about the next one and building that momentum.
It is. What has changed over the last 4 weeks? Is scoring heavily, but the whole team is just really committed to the contest.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing is the game's changed. And we probably, early on, we probably thought we could play the way that we played in the past few years. So we had to adapt a little bit, and the last couple of weeks we've shown that.
And a couple of the youngsters really standing up tonight as well. Kai Loman led the way with five fantastic goals.
Yeah, he's a funny man, Kai. He's when he's up and about, mate. So it's just about the consistency for him now and try and keep a lid on him, mate, because he's very exciting.
Yeah, he is, and it's good to see within your team as well. You get here early, a couple of days earlier, and then you bounce out of the blocks with 8 goals in the first term. What a start.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it meant a lot to us, that start, and that's why we come down early, and it's all about the preparation for us. So to be able to have that start, but then the second quarter we let our foot off the pedal a little bit, and Geelong responded in the way that we did in the first.
As a leader then, what was the conversation like at halftime to turn things back your way?
Well, we were probably struggling a little bit in the midfield, to be honest. Our contest work wasn't good enough, and then we went into halftime, really looked at that and responded well.
Dunks, you're a star, mate. It was another great performance by the side. They're on fire at the moment. Well done.
Thanks, mate. Good to see you.
And your takings out of it, David King?
Oh, you can't help but marvel at what they are able to do. They have a happy knack of timing their run to the Brisbane Football Club. We've talked about them in the past. They can win it from anywhere. You look at their starts to the season, first 15 rounds the last couple of years, 10-4 and a draw, 8-6 and a draw, and they rattle home 6-2, 6-2 the last 2 years, and they look set for another strong tilt in the last couple of months to give themselves potentially that top 4 spot that's much sought after. If you can get yourself into the fight, onto the top 4, onto the 2 front rows of the grid, you're a chance. And I think that right now, no one wants to play the Lions. And the Cats got some work to do defensively more than anything. I haven't seen them leak like that. I mean, first quarter they concede 8 goals. Third quarter they concede 8 goals. I can't recall them being so gettable in 2 large blocks like that. It can happen, in a 10-minute window. You can have a few bad moments and concede, but they just looked out of sorts down back tonight. And that's with O'Sullivan playing an unbelievable game, really. Stewart was gettable. They kicked goals through him tonight. McKenna did a great job. 18 disposals, 2 goals. Then Loman had his opportunities against him. There were times where Bailey was just running right against him. So in the end, the Lions just packed too many match winners.
And Kingy on Talkback Radio tomorrow, and the AFL journalists, their big story takeout will be Jeremy Cameron. 4 touches. It's not the man that we're used to.
No, it's not. It's only the 3rd game since he's been a cap that he hasn't had a shot at goal. 2 of those in the last 3 weeks. So he's the talking point for sure.
Well, as Dwayne calls him, Showman Loman is now down with Brad.
I am with Showman Loman. 5 goals today. That was a brilliant performance by yourself.
Yeah, it was nice. Last few weeks has been nice to just gel with the forwards. Been playing really selfless brand, so got a lick of the ice cream tonight. It was good fun up there.
It is. You're right with gelling. Like, everyone seems to be moving really well. Yourself, Camprainer getting a little bit higher as well. But the rotation, Charlie was on fire early. It's starting to work. Everyone talks about the talls. Yeah. You mids and smalls are starting to get it done.
Yeah, it was a little wet tonight, so it was a good day for the smalls. But like our pressure the last couple of weeks has been a really good ingredient for us, and we've been playing so well. So we're having a lot of fun down there, John. It'll be good.
Absolutely. Some of the delivery coming from the midfield at the moment, because they're on top as well in the contest.
Yeah, it helps definitely when we're winning clearance, first quarter, third quarter, even the last as well. So when we get a forward and get one-on-ones ahead of the ball, it's really dangerous. As you said, we've got players like Cam, Charlie and Logan and Eric as well. So very damaging down there. It's really exciting.
Some of the changes you made the last 4 weeks, the scoring power has gone right through, well over 100 points again tonight.
Yeah, I think, as I said, like the pressure, it's just when we defend really well and squeeze out and make it hard for these teams to get through, it's like we all get rewarded up the ground as well, and I think that's a really good ingredient for us, and it's been working the last few weeks. So
a lot of positive feedback about this jumper too. It looks really good, doesn't it? Put the collar up, pop the collar.
Love the pop the collar. Fits me, so it's sick. Yeah, love it. Wish we could wear it every week.
Absolutely, looks awesome, mate. Congratulations on another fantastic win. The boys are on fire.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Their scoring power worries the competition, Dwayne.
Well, they've got guns everywhere that can really light it up at any particular time. They've got arguably the best fullback in the competition in Harris Andrews as the leader. Charlie Cameron, who we can see on camera now, can break you apart in a 5 or 6 minute passage. And they can win away, and we know how tough they are to beat at the Gabba. Their midfield's firing as well, which is when I think Josh Dunkley laid 16 or 17 tackles tonight as well. So he gets the ball and does damage with it, but you don't get away from his grasp all that often either.
No, they're hard to play against, and that's what Chris Fagan's looking for. They'd lost that for that first probably 6 to 8 weeks of the season. They look like they maybe lost a bit of their mojo. It's just like all great racehorses, Dwayne, when they see the finish line, they find, and maybe I should have thrown that at Maddie, but you can just sense they know that there's an opportunity to do something that's incredibly rare, to go back to back to back. Now they've got some injuries tonight, which we're concerned.
Well, they've got a couple to come back though.
Yeah, they have.
They got Hugh McCluggage back, which is going to be a big one, and their main delivery man off half back, Dane Zorko, will play next week, and they've got Essendon next week, so that's at the Gabba. I'd suggest they go into that one as favourites.
I would think so, Dwayne, yes. I'm probably more impressed with the way they've scored tonight. So 7 goals out of the back half, 10 goals from your forward half work with that stoppages or winning the ball back, and a couple from centre back. It's the perfect model. It really is. So they'd be thrilled with their work. And you talked about the back six. They withstood 69 inside 50s tonight from the Cats. Sporting was a feature. You just hope Darcy Gardner and that hamstring are okay.
Good turnout of line supporters here as well. And they're loving it with their team as they head into the rooms. You can never discount the Cats, though. What a team they've been, finishing in the top 4, 15 of the last 18 years, including 4 flags. They are still well and truly in the hunt. It's been a very entertaining night. So the celebrations to continue in the rooms. Full analysis coming up shortly on Thursday Night Football on Fox, including the press conferences. But they've made a statement, have the Brisbane Lions tonight. 4th down on the live ladder with 10 wins for 2026.